Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In today's session, we want to look at the first 5 questions that came in Mathematics Paper 1 GCE 2025. So stay with me as I take you through these questions. So let's get started. Okay, the first question says simplify 2 open brackets y minus 3, then minus 2 open brackets 2 minus y close brackets. So let's see what we are supposed to do. Okay, so the question says simplify. So what you want to do here is you want to break down the expression into simple terms. We want to reduce the expression. So the first thing that we have to do is open the brackets. So we have the brackets there and some brackets there. We need to open the brackets. How do we do this? We can see that we have a 2 outside the brackets. So that 2 will multiply everything inside the brackets. So what you're going to have is 2 multiplied by y. That will give you 2y. So 2 times y, 2y. Then 2 multiplied by negative 3, we have negative 6. We also have negative 3. Remember, negative 3 outside the brackets. It will also multiply whatever is inside. So negative 3 times 2, we have negative 6. Negative 3 times negative y. First of all, this negative and that negative will multiply. So negative times negative, positive, then 3 times y, 3y. At this stage, what we're going to do is we collect the like terms. We collect terms that have something in common. So for example, 2y and 3y are like terms. So 2y plus 3y. Negative 6 and negative 6 are also like terms. So negative 6 minus 6 like that. So 2y plus 3y, this is the same as saying 2 plus 3, which is 5, then y. Negative 6 minus 6, that is negative 12. So our final answer is simply 5y minus 12. And you get your 2 marks. The next question says evaluate, we have the fourth root of 16 over 81, everything to the power 3. So the fourth root of 16 over 81, everything to the power of 3. So what we can do, we can solve this in 2 ways. I'll use the simplest method here. The first thing that we can do is, first of all, figure out what the fourth root of 16 over 81 is. By fourth root, you can see there's a 4 here. By fourth root, we mean the number we can use to multiply by itself 4 times to get these ones. So the way you get the fourth root of a fraction, you get the fourth root of 16 and the fourth root of 81 at the same time. So the fourth root of 16, first of all, we work with what is inside, then we go outside. So the fourth root of 16 is simply 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 4 times, will give us 16. So we have 2 there, then divided by the fourth root of 81 is 3, because when you multiply 3 by itself 4 times, will give you 81. So we have 3 there. But take note, we have a cube there. So after finding what is inside, we now cube everything. So this simply means 2 to the power 3, 3 to the power 3. So this means 2 to the power 3 over 3 to the power 3. So 2 to the power 3 is 8, because 2 times 2 times 2, 3 times is 8. 3 to the power 3 means 3 times 3 times 3, 3 times, which is 27. So the final answer is 8 over 27. Let's go to the next question. Okay, the next question says factorize completely. We have 2ab minus 3b plus 10a minus 15. Let's factorize this expression together. So let's factorize the expression together. So what we're going to use, there are many methods that we can use to factorize an expression based on the form and the state of an expression. So in this case, what we're going to use is something called factorizing by grouping terms. So we're going to group the terms and we factorize them. So by grouping terms, we mean we put the terms that have something in common together, then we factorize them. So for example, if I look at this expression, we can see that 2ab and negative 3b have something in common, which is a b. Then 10a and minus 15 also have something in common, which is 5, because 5 can go into 10, it can also go into 15. So we're going to group them the way they are. We don't need to make any modifications there. So we start. So we group them there, we also group them there. Then we start factorizing. What is common between 2ab and 3b is b. So b will come out. Then what will remain is 2ab divided by b will remain with 2a there because b is no longer there. Then b into 3b will give us 3. In other words, when a b is out there, what will remain with is minus 3. So minus 3 there. Then we also factorize here. So you can see that what is common here is 5. Because 5 can go into 10, it can also go into 15. So we shall say positive 5 is common. Then what will remain here is 5 into 10a will remain with 2a. Then 5 into minus 15 or negative 15, what we're going to have is negative 3 there. You can see that this part and this part the same. So what do? You factorize further. In other words, you bring this one out again. So what we're going to have is 2a minus 3 is out. If 2a minus 3 is out here, you remain with b. So we're going to have b. 2a minus 3 is out, we'll remain with plus 5. So the final answer is 2a minus 3 multiplied by b plus 5. So that is the final answer. Let's go to the next question. Okay, so the next question says solve the equation. Solve the equation. So let's solve the equation together. So solve the equation 1 over 2x squared minus 8 equals 0. So the fact that we are seeing a 2 here, it tells us that this is a quadratic equation, and in most cases we expect the answers to be 2. We expect the solutions to be 2 in most cases. So let's see, what are we supposed to do here? So let me write it again. We have 1 over 2 x squared minus 8 equals 0. So the first step that we're going to do is take negative 8 to the other side. So we're going to have 1 over 2 x squared equal to positive 8, because once it goes to the other side, it becomes positive. Then after that, remember that this can also be written as 8 over 1. And what we can do here is cross multiply. So 1 multiplied by x squared will give us, let me write from here, x squared. Then 2 multiplied by 8 will give us 16. Then at this stage, what we can simply do is find the square root on both sides. So we're going to square root here. We also square root here. Once we try to find the square root there, we expect to have two answers, plus or minus. So this square root cancels out the 2 there. So what we're going to have is x equals plus or minus. The square root of 16 is simply 4. So we have the square root of 16, which is plus or minus 4. So we basically have two answers. So the answers are x is equal to positive 4 or x is equal to negative 4. So that is what you are supposed to do there. Let's go to the last question, question 5 in this particular video. Okay, so our last question in this video was on sets. And the question reads, use set notation to describe the shaded region in the Venn diagram below. So use set notation to describe the shaded region in this Venn diagram. So by set notation, we mean you should use things like this: A intersection B, A union B, A union B complements, and things like that to describe what's been shaded here. So let us analyze the Venn diagram together and see which part has been shaded. So if you look at the Venn diagram here, you can see that both B and C have not been shaded. Only part of A, not the entire A, part of A has been shaded. So you can see that the shaded region is outside B and C. It's outside B or C. It's not in B, neither is it in C. So the shaded region is outside B or C, but it's in A. So what we can see is that the shaded region is outside B or C. It's outside B or C. So to show that it's outside, we use something called complement. So the shaded region is outside B or C, but it's within A, intersection A. So the shaded region here is B union C complement intersection A. It means it's outside B or C, but within A. So the answer here should be B union C complement intersection A. Actually, you can also write this, you can also expand it using something called De Morgan's law. You can also expand this and write this as B complement. You distribute the complement there. Intersection, you change the union to intersection, then C complement, then intersection A. This is the expanded form, but this is the short form and the best answer. But this can also justify here. So this is what we had for you today, and this is where we end. Thank you.